enlightens and reward these beautiful faces with Jannah that we see in front of us for taking the time out and sitting and benefiting from this reminder, inshallah. Our dear guest speaker for this reminder is not a guest anymore, alhamdulillah, he is our regular imam and regular teacher. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless him and to reward him. And he does not need any introduction, but for those who do not know him, it's our dear Fadilatul Shaykh Muhammad Ali Mawalid, Hafidahullah. And he's a graduate from the Islamic University of Medina. And wallah, it's a very beautiful honor to have him and to guest him again here in Coventry. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he rewards the Shaykh and blesses him with every good for taking the time out and traveling to us and benefiting with this reminder. Inshallah, without further ado, as they say, we'd like to hand over the mic to the Shaykh, where he will speak about beautiful reminders in regards to parenting and its importance. فليتفضل الشيخ مشكورا مأجورا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم أجمعين. أما بعد، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Seems like you didn't have qadr today. Alhamdulillah, everyone had qadr. I was just asking if everyone had lunch. If that's the case, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullah khair. Barakallah feekum, my brothers and sisters in Islam. It is always, alhamdulillah, great pleasure for me to come to Masjid Tawfiq in Coventry. And alhamdulillah, I have been coming for the past few years since I came to know this wonderful community that lives here in Coventry. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all. Allahumma ameen. And my brothers and sisters in Islam, some of you will remember that I was here only last Friday, not yesterday, but the Friday before. Alhamdulillah, I was here. And today I am here. That shows you how much I love you, you know. I don't know if you love me, but that shows you that I love you, mashallah. I come back every now and then, you see. Whenever you invite me, I come. So alhamdulillah, jazakumullah khairan. And before I begin, inshallah ta'ala, after praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I also want to thank the elders of the masjid, the committee of the masjid, the mashayikh of the masjid, the young brothers and sisters who have tirelessly worked for the past few months and putting this event together, mashallah. And I can see so many young brothers and I can see so many young sisters, alhamdulillah, in and around the masjid. It's something that brings delight to the heart, something that brings so much comfort to my heart. When I see so many young Muslims, alhamdulillah, you feel like you say, alhamdulillah, the ummah is still strong. And you see a lot of young people, inshallah ta'ala, the future parents of our community are sitting here, inshallah ta'ala. So it's always a pleasure to see so many young faces. And also, it's so much pleasure to see parents sitting with, mashallah, with the youngsters. And this is how the companions used to be, mashallah. They didn't used to just drop off the kids and leave the kids with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The companions themselves, the parents, they used to come and sit with their kids. So alhamdulillah, with the younger companions. So now it's good to see fathers, mothers, everyone sitting together, inshallah ta'ala, benefiting from the reminder. Because all of us, we need reminder, starting with myself. I am the first and foremost, the person who's going to benefit from the reminder I'm about to give you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminded us in the Quran, the book He gave us as a revelation. لَقَدْ أَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكُمْ كِتَابًا. We have revealed to you what is it that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed to us. He gave us a book. He has revealed a book. And this book, what is in it? فِيهِ ذِكْرِكُمْ. In it is your reminder, something that reminds you. What I'm going to say to you tonight is not going to be new to you. Many of the things I'm going to say to you, you already know them. But we need a reminder. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, فَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَ تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَعَلِّمْ. Teach. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَذَكِّرْ. It is as if something that we already knew. Remind. Why? The reminder is going to be beneficial for the believers. So inshallah ta'ala, the people who are here now, both brothers and sisters, they are believers from among the believers. They prayed Salatul Maghrib here in Jama'ah. They've been here before. They have been studying, mashallah, in the masjid. They have been coming to this, mashallah, wonderful conference for the past couple of days. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you greatly. Also, I just want to tell you another thing. And maybe some of you just saw me when I saw our Sheikh, mashallah, Sheikh Muhammad Tim Humble. I gave him a big hug and he gave me a nice big hug. Why do you think we hugged each other? Yes, the young brother. Why do you think I hugged him and he hugged me? Because you? Because we haven't seen each other for a while, I think. Yeah. MashaAllah, that's a good answer. Someone else wants to say something. Why is it me and Brother Muhammad Tim Humble? When we saw each other, we gave each other a nice hug and we stayed there together for a bit, for a few moments. We were hugging each other, mashallah, and we were happy to see one another. Why do you think we were happy to see each other, yeah? Because we like each other for the sake of Allah. Jazakallah khair. That's a very good answer as well. Because alhamdulillah, as Muslims, when we come together and we haven't seen each other for a while, and alhamdulillah, we've known each other as well. Me and Muhammad Tim Humble, alhamdulillah, we've met about 15 years ago. And both of us, we were a lot younger than we are right now. Especially, I look very old right now. Many of you are thinking like, who's this old man? I don't think this old guy. من أين جاء هذا العجوز الكبير؟ هذا الرجل الكبير. Some of you are thinking, I'm sorry, brothers who don't understand Somali. Sometimes I'm going to mix it with Somali. So every now and then, if you hear some sentences that are Somali, inshallah ta'ala, please bear with me. I'm not talking about you, inshallah ta'ala. Don't feel like, oh, is he talking about that? No, inshallah ta'ala. It's just a little joke here and there, inshallah ta'ala. And the Somali brothers and sisters hopefully will understand them. So me and Brother Muhammad Tim, we've met about 15 years ago. How have you met? How did we meet, me and him? SubhanAllah. We met while we were planning and actually journeying and getting ready for a very important, SubhanAllah, it was like a very important moment of our lives. It was the time we were leaving from the UK and we were going to the city of the Prophet ﷺ to seek knowledge from the city of, mashallah, city of Medina, especially from the Jami'ah al-Islamiyah from Medina al-Munawwara. That's the time when we were going to the Jami'ah, that's when we met. The days where we had to go to the Foreign Office to sort out our paperwork, the days that we had to go the Saudi Embassy to sort out our paperwork and get our visas and tickets and everything. So it was those times when we met, and alhamdulillah, we went together to the Jami'ah. We've been together in the Jami'ah for all the time, mashallah, the duration of the Jami'ah time and years, we've been together, alhamdulillah. But for the past few years, we haven't seen each other because he doesn't live here in the UK, as you all know. So, alhamdulillah, I want to say to the masjid and to the organizers, Jazakumullah khairan for bringing Sheikh Muhammad Tim Humble to the masjid. And last week when I found out he was coming, I was very happy and I told the masjid and the committee, I said, benefit from him, mashallah. Brother Muhammad, mashallah, as you know his story, I'm sure some of you know him very well. He embraced Islam when he was only about 14 years old. And alhamdulillah, look, إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ بِالتَّعَلُّمِ. Knowledge is by seeking it. So nobody just say, no one gets knowledge because they belong to a particular race. You don't have to come from the Arab world to be a sheikh. You don't have to come from for example, from Africa or from Asia to be good with the Quran, to be good with the deen. No, you could come from anywhere. Okay? As long as you learn your deen, if you learn your deen, that shows you, alhamdulillah, you can learn the deen. You don't have to be from a particular race, you don't have to be from a particular part of the world. You can come from anywhere, you can be from any race, and still you can learn the deen. I'm very proud of Brother Muhammad Tim Humble. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him and those who are like him. Allahumma ameen. And it is really an honor for all of you, inshallah ta'ala, to have him here. And I hope that you're going to benefit from him in the future as well. So please keep inviting him and ask him to come back. So inshallah ta'ala, I just wanted to share that with you, alhamdulillah. Is that understandable so far? Am I going okay? Yes. All right. No one is kind of like already tired and saying, subhanAllah, Muhammad Ali is just boring, man. You just bored us to death. And now we want to go home. So inshallah ta'ala, if everyone is okay, sit, hold on to your seat. Inshallah ta'ala, we're going to take off very soon, inshallah ta'ala. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah. وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم أجمعين. The topic I have been assigned to talk about today, or tonight, the topic is a very, very important topic. Very, very important topic. And subhanAllah, there's no one who's in the masjid now, except each and every one of us. We are either a child to someone, or we are the parent of someone else, or we are both. It's one of those three options. You are either a child to someone, or you are a parent to someone, or you are both. Meaning, you are a child to someone who's alive, mother and dad, and also you are a father or a mother to someone who's also alive. Or you are still a child. You do not have your own kids, but you're a child to someone. The first question, inshallah ta'ala, before I talk about the importance of being a good parent, before I get into that, being a parent, the first question is, who made you a parent? How did you become a parent? Did you want to become a parent? Why did you want to become a parent? These are the questions that we need to ask ourselves before we even begin the talk. If you're a parent, who made you a parent? Why are you a parent? Why are you a parent? Another question, is it easy to be a parent? Why did you want to become a parent? So inshallah ta'ala, we will answer those questions bi'idhnillah ta'ala. The first question, who made you a parent? Who can make you a parent? Yeah. Allah, jazakallah khair. Very, very important answer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in the Quran, وَلِلَّهِ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ يَخْلُقُ مَا يَشَاءُ يَهَبُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ إِنَاثًا وَيَهَبُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ الذُّكُورَ أَوْ يُزَوِّجُهُمْ ذُكْرَانًا وَإِنَاثًا وَيَجْعَلُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ عَقِيمًا إِنَّهُ عَلِيمٌ قَدِيرٌ. Subhanallah. Let us just understand the verses I have just recited. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, وَلِلَّهِ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. The dominion of the heavens and the earth, they all belong to Allah. He's the one who's in control. He's the one who's in control of the heavens and also in this earth. He's in charge. وَلِلَّهِ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. And then Allah also reminded us, يَخْلُقُ مَا يَشَاءُ. He creates whatever He wants. No one tells Allah what to create, who to create, when to create. يَخْلُقُ مَا يَشَاءُ. That's what Allah has said. Young people, I want you to listen very carefully and learn these things, because these things are very important. This is about your aqidah, about your belief. It's about your faith, about your creed. That you know these things for definite. Allah is the creator of everything. He's the dominion, He's in charge. He's the king, He's the powerful. Therefore, He's the one who creates whatever He wants, and He's the one what? يَهَبُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ إِنَاثًا وَيَهَبُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ الذُّكُورَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I am the one who gives whoever I want girls. Okay? How do you have daughters and you don't have sons? The person who has sons, how do they have sons and not daughters? The people who have mixed both sexes, how do they have them? Who gave it to them? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah said, يَهَبُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ إِنَاثًا وَيَهَبُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ الذُّكُورَ. I am the one who gives the great gift of girls, and I'm the one who gives the great gift of boys. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, أَوْ يُزَوِّجُهُمْ ذُكْرَانًا وَإِنَاثًا. Or I'm the one who gives both male and females to that particular parent. And look at the next one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَيَجْعَلُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ عَقِيمًا. I make those that I want, I make them childless. There are people in the world who love so much, they love kids so much, but they can never have kids. Who made them aqim and barren? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah said, وَيَجْعَلُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ عَقِيمًا. I'm the one who makes the decision who has a child and who doesn't have a child. Who has a healthy child, who doesn't have a healthy child. Who has a successful child? Who doesn't have a successful child? Am I speaking too loud?
No, you're too low.
Too low. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. I cannot be like a da'wah man, you know. MashaAllah, Sheikh Da'wah man, he was beating it, MashaAllah. His voice was very clear, MashaAllah, and very powerful. Do you want me to speak up, guys? Yeah. MashaAllah. وَيَجْعَلُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ عَقِيمًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes whoever that He wants barren, childless. You cannot have a child. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at the end of the two ayahs said, إِنَّهُ عَلِيمٌ قَدِيرٌ. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the knowledgeable one. He didn't just do these things without knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّهُ عَلِيمٌ قَدِيرٌ. I am the one who made these decisions according to my knowledge, and not only that, and according to my power. Qadir. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, هُوَ الْقَادِرُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. Allah is the one who has the ability of everything. He can make whatever decisions He likes. He can make whatever He wants. He can destroy whatever He wants, whoever that He wants. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in Surah Al-Anbiya, لَا يُسْأَلُ عَمَّا يَفْعَلْ وَهُمْ يُسْأَلُونَ. No one asks Allah, no one dares to ask Allah why He did something or He didn't do anything. We can never question Allah. I can never question Allah and say, oh Allah, why did you only give me girls? Do you know what? I only have girls. Say Alhamdulillah. And say MashaAllah. Guys, what's going on, man? I only have girls. Say MashaAllah. Yeah, the girls are saying louder MashaAllah than you boys. Why? MashaAllah. Okay, I only have girls. And I'm going to tell you something funny, man. I'm going to share with you something. A few years ago, I had 4 daughters. A few years ago, I had how many daughters? 4 daughters. And then I went to Mecca. I was doing Umrah. I had with me some young brothers, mashallah, from Sheffield. And then we were doing Umrah, we were doing i'tikaf in Masjid al-Haram, in the Kaaba. That's where we were doing our i'tikaf. And the last 10 days of Ramadan, and then we met a brother. And then when we met that brother, he wasn't from UK, he was from somewhere else, from the Muslim world. And then we started talking, having a nice chat here and there. And one of the questions he asked me is Akhi, are you married? I said, Alhamdulillah. أنت متزوج؟ أنا قلت له نعم والله أنا متزوج الحمد لله. قال أنت بزوجة واحدة عندك ولا اثنين؟ أنا قلت له واحدة والله. I only have. He said to me, are you married to more than one wife? I said, no, I only have one wife. Alhamdulillah. And then he said to me, okay, do you have kids? I said, yes, Alhamdulillah, I've got kids. He said, how many do you have? I said, I've got 4 kids. He said, MashaAllah, ذكورا وإناثا ولا كلهم ذكور ولا كل. أنا قلت له كلهم إناث كلهم إناث. I said, all of them are just girls. He said, oh, 4 of them are all of them girls. I said, and he said to me, shall I tell you the secret of having boys? I said to him, what? What are you going to tell me? How to have boys? He said, wow. I said, what are you talking about? You're going to give me the secret of having boys? I said, you're going to make a lot of money, man, if you know how to make boys. I said to him, you're going to be rich, man, if you know how to make boys. MashaAllah. I said to him, okay, you want to tell me how to make boys? He said, yes, I'm going to tell you. All of you right now who have only girls, maybe are saying, Sheikh, did he tell you the secret? You're all looking forward to the secret. Am I right? Are you right? Yeah. Okay. And then he said to me, okay, I'll tell you how to do it. And then now some years have gone past. And guess how many kids I have now? I have more than 4. I have 6. But the question now is, are they boys or girls? You will find out in the next lecture, inshallah. Next year, inshallah, I will tell you if I have 2 boys after the 4, or if I still have 2 extra girls. We'll find out, inshallah.
No, tell us now.
Tell us now how much you're going to pay me. No problem, I'm going to ask, I'll tell you, but you have to pay me. But you don't know whether I still have girls, or whether I still have boys, or I have 2 new boys. So inshallah ta'ala, that's just a little bit kind of like inshallah ta'ala of something that happened. But what's the point I'm trying to make? The point I'm trying to make is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the gift of kids. So it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The next question I'm going to move on to is, as a parent, why do you want to have a child? Why do you want to have children? Have you ever asked yourself the question, why do I want to have kids? Can someone tell me, give me, brother, assalamu alaikum. I guess you're a parent, am I right? Alhamdulillah. You've got kids?
Yes,
How many altogether?
2 boys.
2 boys, alhamdulillah. Shall I give you the secret of making girls? Okay, mashallah. So the brother has got, alhamdulillah, 2 boys. Okay, did you ask yourself, I'm going to ask this question, why did you want to have children? That's the next question. Why did we want to have children? Everybody's thinking right now, why do I have kids in the first place? Why am I having them in the first place? Why? What made me have kids?
Are you asking?
Yeah, I'm asking you, brother.
Okay. First of all, I took it as the Ni'mah al-Kubra. Secondly, to have the children. If they are good children, I'm gonna need them when I'm already gone. With the dua and also with the dalil of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, إِذَا مَاتَ ابن آدم انقطع عمله.
Beautiful. Jazakallah khair, brother. Wonderful. That's one parent, one aspect of one parent, inshallah. Okay, I'm going to ask someone else. Why did you have kids? Why did you have kids in the first place? Why? Yeah? Who's going to try and answer that question? Look, parents, we have got kids, but we don't know why we have them. This is a problem as well. Okay, we have kids. Yes, brother.
Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, كلكم مسؤول كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعية.
Very good.
This is راعي. This is from this, you know.
Excellent. But why did you decide to have ra'i?
Because Allah said us to, you are ra'i and you have to be a mas'ul.
Okay, yes, good. But why did you make the decision to be a parent?
To have a ni'mah, like the way he said.
Like the brother said. Jazakallah khair. Okay, so inshallah ta'ala, I'm going to move on because of the time. Jazakallah khair. First of all, we need to ask ourselves, why do we need to become a parent? Why? The brother Jazakallah khairan, he gave us a good answer. But, do you know, if you ask other communities, non-Muslim community, for example, if you ask them and say, why do you have kids? What's the point of having, what's the purpose of having children? The Chinese family will probably tell you, the reason I'm having a child is I want to help them when they're young. It's like an investment, so they can help me when I'm older. Okay, just from the material side of things. But as Muslims, we have to look at it from the spiritual side, from the akhirah, the next life. Like the brother Jazakallah khair said, why am I having a child? Why am I having kids? First of all, having kids is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like we said, many people would like to have kids, but they cannot have kids. But alhamdulillah, some people, or majority of people, Allah gives them kids. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants humanity to exist. So we have to reproduce. And it's also by nature, we like to have kids. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has built that thing inside us, the love of having kids. Otherwise, imagine if your parents didn't want to have a child. I wouldn't be here today. If my father, Sheikh Ali, and my mother, Fatima, if they decided not to have kids, I wouldn't be here tonight. But alhamdulillah, Allah caused them to want to have kids, and that's why they started having kids. So alhamdulillah, they have got kids, and that's why I'm here. That's why we have many young brothers and sisters in the masjid, because their parents made the decision to have kids. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted them to have kids, so humanity could go on and on and on until the day of judgment comes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, now we have established why do we need to have a child. I'm going to tell you Umar ibn Khattab radiyallahu anhu. Umar ibn Khattab, look. Umar ibn Khattab radiyallahu anhu, once he has said, the reason I have kids is to bring someone to the world who worships Allah. That was his aim of having kids. What did he say? The reason I have kids is so I can bring someone to this world who worships Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And not only that, he said the only reason I sleep with my wives, look, even to get that enjoyment, the sexual enjoyment. Umar Khattab said, the only reason I sleep with my wives is so I can have a child. That child comes to this world and worships Allah. That's the only reason. I don't just go and sleep with women so I can enjoy them. No. Astaghfirullah. Yeah. That young boy said, but look, Umar ibn Khattab said, the reason I sleep with them, so I can have God. I can have kids, so they worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why. Subhanallah. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, after He gave us the gift of kids, He's going to tell us something else, which is very important. It is not hidden from us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasn't kept it secret. He told us openly, because it's very important for us to know. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, إِنَّمَا أَمْوَالُكُمْ وَأَوْلَادُكُمْ fitna. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I blessed you with kids and wealth as a fitna, as a test for you. So parents right now, including myself, we feel that we are being tested with our kids. It's a test. Were they tested with other parents as well? Yes. إِنَّمَا أَمْوَالُكُمْ وَأَوْلَادُكُمْ fitna. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also gave us responsibility. He said, I gave you a gift, but you have to be responsible. Allah. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. What's the next bit? وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا. قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, O you who believe, protect yourselves from the fire and also from your families. Starting with your kids, with your wife, and also the extended family. But you have to protect yourself from the hellfire, and then you have to start with yourself, and then the next group of people is your family. Let me say this. Al-Dhahhak said, and this is one of the great mufassirs of the Quran, translators of the Quran, he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he said, "Qu anfusakum," when he said, protect yourself from the hellfire, it means protect yourself from the hellfire with actions. When it comes to you, okay? You have to protect yourself from the hellfire with actions. What about our families? How are we going to protect them from the hellfire? Your child wants to go to hellfire. He just likes it. He just wants to say, I want to do whatever I want to do in this life. I just want to enjoy my life, and I don't care where I go at the end. Okay? He wants to enjoy himself or herself. How are you going to do it? Look what the ulama have said. He said, وَأَهْلِيكُمْ, it means with your words, meaning with advice. Good advice. It's not about forcing anybody. It's about enjoining good and forbidding evil. Telling them. أَنفُسَكُمْ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want to overburden us. This is a very critical point. Parents, I want you to think about this issue. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want to overburden us. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. إنك لا تهدي من أحببت ولكن الله يهدي من يشاء. You do not guide whomever that you want, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who guides. That's why the ulama, they said, يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم means قوا أنفسكم, protect yourself from the hellfire with your actions, because you are responsible of yourself. You can do your own actions. You cannot do actions for other people. You cannot pray salah for your child. You can't say, my son is not praying, my daughter is not praying, so she didn't pray Maghrib today, so I'm going to pray Maghrib twice. So I'm going to pray Maghrib, Allahu Akbar, that's for myself. I'm going to pray another Maghrib because my son didn't pray Maghrib. No, it doesn't work that way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, "Qu anfusakum wa ahlikum." How do you protect your kids from the hellfire or from your family? By giving them good advice. Telling them, this is the right way, this is the wrong way. Luqman alayhi salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He tells us a story in the Quran, we need to learn from it. Luqman alayhi salam, when he was addressing his son, he wasn't forcing him to do anything. He was advising him, just telling him. What did he say? وَإِذْ قَالَ لُقْمَانُ لِابْنِهِ وَهُوَ يَعِظُهُ يَا بُنَيَّ لَا تُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ. He told him the first thing, my son, do not associate partners with Allah. Because he knew that was the most important thing. Why? Because if you associate partners with Allah, you're going to go to hellfire forever. Unless you make tawbah before you die. لَا تُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ إِنَّ الشِّرْكَ لَظُلْمٌ عَظِيمٌ. And then after that, he reminded him the power of Allah. يَا بُنَيَّ إِنَّهَا إِن تَكُ مِثْقَالَ حَبَّةٍ مِّنْ خَرْدَلٍ فَتَكُنْ فِي صَخْرَةٍ أَوْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ أَوْ فِي الْأَرْضِ يَأْتِ بِهَا اللَّهُ. Look at how powerful this is. He was making that relationship or that connection between him and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He was reminding him, we need to teach our children as parents, we cannot just be like, we cannot just do like surveillance on our kids all the time. But we have to teach them Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching over them. As kids, if we know that, and we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He's the one who's watching over us all the time, and He knows what we're doing and what we're up to, that's what Luqman was teaching his kid. He said, إِنَّهَا إِن تَكُ مِثْقَالَ حَبَّةٍ مِّنْ خَرْدَلٍ فَتَكُنْ فِي صَخْرَةٍ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ أَوْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. If something which was very small, like a mustard seed, and it was underneath a rock, either on this earth or in the heaven, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knows about it. There's nothing hidden from Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ وَنَعْلَمُ مَا تُوَسْوِسُ بِهِ نَفْسُهُ. Indeed, we have created mankind and we know even what his soul whispers to. Young brothers and sisters, whatever that's going through your mind right now, Allah even is aware of it. I don't know what you're thinking about. As you are staring at me now and looking at me and giving me like some sort of looks, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what's going through between your eyes and your head. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows about it. إنها إن تكن مثقال حبة من خردل وتكن في صخرة أو في السماوات أو في الأرض يأتي بها الله إن الله لطيف خبير. Look at the second advice he gave him, the third advice. يا بني أقم الصلاة. He told him that. He said, my son, my daughter, he had a son, he just said to him, you need to establish the prayer. Our children, we need to tell them that. Establish the prayer. Do we get tired from it? No. Who told us? Why shouldn't we become tired of it? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, look what He said when He was talking about Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. Imagine when it comes as parents, we say, our kids, we're telling them to pray salah, but they don't pray salah. They used to pray salah when they were younger, like when they were 7, 8, 9 years old. They used to pray with us, next to us. Now they're teenagers, like they're 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. They don't want to pray salah. So do we just give up? No. Look, Ibrahim alayhi salam. How long ago do you think Ibrahim alayhi salam was alive? Years, thousands of years ago. Those days, like there was no internet, there was no social media, there was no movies, there were no games that were very addictive and things like that. But look, Ibrahim alayhi salam's time, what did he used to do? He was making dua to Allah. Rabbi ja'alni muqim as-salah. Oh Allah, make me from the people who establish the prayer. Pray salah. I want to pray salah, so please give me help. And not only that, he used to make dua for his family. وَمِن ذُرِّيَّتِي, and my family, my offspring. Oh Allah, help them to pray the salah. As parents, we need to do that. Make dua for our kids to pray. The next point, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, look, this is the advice Allah gave to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَأْمُرْ أَهْلَكَ بِالصَّلَاةِ وَأْمُرْ أَهْلَكَ بِالصَّلَاةِ. Oh Muhammad, tell your family to establish the prayer. And what's the next word? وَاصْطَبِرْ عَلَيْهَا. Allah didn't say وَاصْبِرْ. وَعُلَمَاءُ اللُّغَةِ ماذا يقولون؟ زِيَادَةُ الْحُرُوفِ تَدُلُّ عَلَى زِيَادَةِ الْمَعْنَى. In the Arabic language, if the letters are increased in a word, it shows extra meaning. Allah didn't say just wasbir, He said wastabir alayha. Oh Muhammad, when you are asking your family and telling and commanding your family to pray the salah, you need to have patience on top of that. Because when you tell your child to pray, maybe he's not going to pray. The first day, the next day, the first month, the first few years, maybe until he reaches an old age, he's not going to pray. But what do you have to do? Just enjoying the good and just tell them, pray the salah. Salah is important, it's one of the pillars of Islam. I pray, you need to pray, your parents are praying, why shouldn't you pray? Advise them, always tell them. Very important. And look, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, another thing that He's reminding us. Parents, this is important for all of us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Ahqaf, وَوَصَّيْنَا الْإِنسَانَ بِوَالِدَيْهِ إِحْسَانًا حَمَلَتْهُ أُمُّهُ كرها ووضعته كرها وحمله وفصاله 30 شهرا حتى إذا بلغ أشده وبلغ 40 سنة قال رب أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه وأصلح لي في ذريتي إني تبت إليك وإني من المسلمين. What is Allah teaching us in this ayah? ووصينا الإنسان بوالديه إحسانا. We have enjoined man, the human being, both boys and girls. We're telling them, be good to your parents. Why? Because you would not have existed without your parents. Who carried you in the womb? Your mother. In the womb of your mother, who was carrying you for 9 months? Your mother. Who gave you after you were born? Who used to give you milk? Your mother. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, when the child reaches 30 shahran, 30 months, that means your mother carried you in the womb, she was breastfeeding you for 2 years, and then after that, وبلغ 30 شهرا حتى إذا بلغ أشده وبلغ 40 سنة, until he has reached the age of 40 years old. Do you know when you reach the age of 40 years old, you become very calm. You begin to calm down. Why? Now you're going to realize the ni'mas that Allah gave you. حتى إذا بلغ أشده وبلغ 40 سنة. When you reach the age of 40, what you need to say? قال ربي أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي. Oh Allah, allow me to thank you and be grateful to you now. Because by the time you are 40 years old, probably you have your own kids. And not only your own kids, but your kids are becoming like teenagers. And when your own kids become like teenagers and they start not to listen to you, what you're going to start remembering? You're going to remember yourself. You're going to say, oh my God, do you know when I was only 14, 15 years old, and 16, 17, 18, how stubborn I was. I never used to listen to my parents. Now your kids are not listening. That time when you're at the age of 40, you're going to say, قَالَ رَبِّي أَوْزِعْنِي أَنْ أَشْكُرَ. You're going to become now grateful to your parents. Now you're going to say, wow, wallahi, my parents were patient with me. My parents were very kind to me. My parents were really nice to me. My parents were advising me for what was best for me. They were only telling me what was good for me. قال ربي أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي. What's Allah telling us in this ayah? He's telling us the human being, when he reaches a certain age, that's when his wisdom begins to work. Now you become wise and wiser. And now you know what is right and what is wrong. أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي. And then he will remember to do righteous actions. وأن أعمل صالحا ترضاه وأصلح لي في ذريتي. Oh Allah, now he's going to make dua to Allah. He said, oh Allah, please make my children righteous kids. Were you righteous child yourself? Now you're going to make dua to Allah. Oh Allah, make me righteous child. Make my children righteous people. Okay? Now you need to start thinking, young people, and say, I want to be righteous right now. I want to be good to my parents. So inshallah ta'ala, when I reach the age of 40, inshallah ta'ala, I'm going to hopefully have kids who will listen to me as well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminded us also that in the Quran. So I want you to take that into account as well. Also, inshallah ta'ala, my brothers and sisters in Islam, I want to bring to your attention a very important hadith. The hadith that the brother just quoted. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in this authentic hadith, he said, كُلُّكُمْ رَاعٍ وَكُلُّكُمْ مَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ. All of you are like a shepherd. And you will be responsible for the herd that you're looking after. The herd of sheep that you're looking after, you will be responsible of it. Why do you think the Prophet has used the word ra'in? The Prophet ﷺ, he was very precise with his wordings. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, I was given jawami'ul kalim. I was given comprehensive words. What do comprehensive words mean? They're short in number, they're not too long, but they have powerful meanings. They have very vast meanings. So the Prophet ﷺ said, I was given jawami'ul kalim. And look at the Prophet ﷺ, he said, kullukum ra'in. He used the word a shepherd. He didn't say you are all managers. He said, all of you guys are like a shepherd. If someone is a shepherd, what does that tell us? If you are a shepherd, these are the characteristics you need to have. Think about this. If someone is a shepherd, probably the herd of sheep that they're looking after doesn't belong to them. It belongs to somebody else. So if something doesn't belong to you, what's going to happen? You will be questioned about it. Imagine when you take a herd of sheep. If you take the sheep out of the house during the morning, during the evening you have to bring them back. When you bring them back, what is expected of you? You will be responsible. You will be accountable to the person who owns the sheep. He will say to you, are they all back alive? Has any one of them been eaten by a lion or something? You have to be accountable. So what's the Prophet ﷺ reminding us? The kids that we have, we are looking after them. We are like shepherds to them. They're like a gift that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us, and something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has trusted us with, and we need to look after them. Another thing the word ra'i is teaching us is, if someone is a shepherd, the herd of the sheep, they're not all equal. If you've got like 100, for example, 100 sheep, they're not all at the same, they don't have the same strength. They're not all as fit as each other. So as a shepherd, you need to know which one is weak, which one is strong, how to look after the weak ones. Also, as a shepherd, you need to be someone who's kind and caring. Otherwise, the herd is going to suffer. So that's why the Prophet has used kullukum ra'i. Our children are not going to be the same. They will never be the same. Some of our kids, they will be strong. Some of our kids will not be able to, they won't be able to be as strong as their brothers and sisters. Also, some of the kids will be able to understand things a lot quicker, while others are not. Some of them will listen to you a lot easier than others. So the Prophet is teaching us, you are like a shepherd, so you have to take easy on the herd that you're looking after. So it's very, very important. So inshallah ta'ala, I'm going to move on to another hadith. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he was a parent himself. How was he to his kids? The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, I'm going to give you an example. Aisha told us, whenever Fatima visited the house of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, now Fatima is married, she's old, okay, she has her own kids, but look how the Prophet sallallahu used to treat his kids, even when they were older. So the Prophet ﷺ, Fatima whenever she visits him, what would he do? The Prophet ﷺ would get up. When Fatima comes to his house, he would make sure that she sits his place, the seat that he was sat on, and not only that, he would kiss her forehead. Who was doing that? The Prophet ﷺ. As a father, as a mother today, especially fathers, do you kiss the forehead of your kids? When was the last time you gave your child a nice hug and you kissed him? When was it? Think about it. Look at the Prophet ﷺ, how much love he used to show his kids. So Fatima, she was a grown-up person, still, who would make sure that he makes her sit where he was sat himself, and not only that, he would kiss her forehead. Anas radiallahu anhu, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when it comes to Anas radiallahu anhu, as we know, he was a young boy from Ansar. And when the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam came to Medina and migrated to Medina, all the people of Medina, they gave the Prophet sallallahu different gifts. But Anas's mother, she went to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. She said to him, everyone gave you a gift. I do not have a gift to give you except my son. She took Anas with her, and she said, let Anas be with you and serve you. Meaning, he will live with you and he will do whatever you like him to do for you. Anas that time he was like 10 years old, 11 years or even younger. So Anas has spent 10 years with the Prophet ﷺ while he was in Medina. So imagine Anas from the age of 10 up to he was 20 years old, the Prophet ﷺ was alive, and he was staying in the house of the Prophet ﷺ. And look what Anas said when it comes to the rahmah and the akhlaq of the Prophet ﷺ as a parent. Anas has said, the Prophet ﷺ never said to me in those 10 years, if I did something, why did I do it? Or if I didn't do something, he didn't say to me, why didn't you do it? Look at the rahmah, the kindness, The Prophet understood the young people very, very well. Look how he treated his own daughter, Fatima radiallahu anha. And one day, Aisha radiallahu anha, she was at home and she was visited by a mother and two kids. A mother who was miskina, she was poor, she was looking for food. So she came to Aisha's house, the wife of the Prophet ﷺ, and then what happened, look, Aisha radiallahu anha, she didn't have anything. All she had was 3 dates. She only had what? 3 dates. She gave it to them. She gave it to the mother, and look what the mother did. Look at the rahmah and the mercy of the mother. The mother, she gave one of the dates to one of her children. The other one, she gave it to the other one. How many is left right now? 1. That one is left for herself, innit? So the 2 young kids, they ate their dates, and now they started looking at their mother. They're looking for the 3rd one. Look what the mother did. The mother, she split the date into 2 halves. She gave half of it to one of the children and the other half to the other one. And look what happened, they ate it. Aisha was so impressed with the mother. So when the mother left and her 2 kids, that's all she had. Aisha couldn't help them anymore. So when they left, the Prophet came back to the house and she said, "Oh Prophet of Allah, this is what I saw today. A mother with 2 kids, I gave her 3 dates. And this is what happened, and this is how she did things." And the Prophet ﷺ said to her, "What amazed you? Why are you so impressed with that?" And then the Prophet ﷺ said, "Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has shown mercy to that mother because she has shown mercy to her 2 kids." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has shown so much mercy to that mother because she has shown mercy to her 2 kids. So as parents, we need to show mercy to our kids. As a parent right now, how much time we have, brother? Alhamdulillah, you got a bit of time? And the waqt. As a mother right now, or as a parent right now, you might be saying, Muhammad Ali, Jazakallah khair, we need to be kind to our kids, we need to be gentle with our kids, but we're still having problems. Things are not easy. Things are difficult. Parenting is not easy, it's difficult. I want to tell myself and all of you, parenting has never been easy. That's a fact. Parenting has never been easy. And it has never been easy for anyone. Today when I was leading Salat al-Maghrib, who remembers which surah I read the second part? The second rak'ah, when I read loudly. Who remembers the ayat I recited today? Yes? Who remembers the ayat I recited in the second rak'ah? Yes? It was the 29th juz, yes, very good, mashallah. The surah was in the 29th juz, excellent. Who remembers any of the ayat of the surah? Who was the prophet that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was talking about in the surah? Yes. Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. Well done. Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gave him a long life. A long, long life. And Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, he was addressing his people for 950 years. He had his own family, he had kids, he had wife. But look what happened. Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, Allah told us 2 things. He told us that his wife didn't believe in him. His wife was a disbeliever. ضرب الله مثلا للذين كفروا امرأة نوح وامرأة لوط. The wife of Prophet Nuh was a disbeliever. And she's going to go to hellfire. Look at that test. Not only that, his son also, he was not from the believers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us the beautiful story in Surah Hud. Subhanallah. The Prophet said, شَيَّبَتْنِي هُودٌ وَأَخَوَاتِهَا. He said, Surah Hud made me have grey hair. Surah Hud and its sisters. Meaning Yunus, Yusuf, because there are some powerful stories in those surahs. Among the stories Allah mentioned in that surah was the story of Prophet Nuh and his people. The last moments, what happened. When Prophet Nuh called them to Islam for 950 years. Finally, he made the dua against them. He said, Well, Allah told us in the surah I was reciting today, Surah Nuh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَقَالَ نُوحُ الرَّبِّ لَا تَذَرَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ دَيَّارًا إِنَّكَ إِن تَذَرْهُمْ يُضِلُّ عِبَادَكَ وَلَا يَلِدُ إِلَّا فَاجِرًا كَفَّارًا. Nuh alayhi salam, what did he say? Oh Allah, do not let any disbeliever live any longer. Khalas, get rid of them. لا تذر على الأرض من الكافرين ديار. Why? If you leave them, they're just going to reproduce non-believers. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, okay, Prophet Nuh now had enough. Khalas. He was inviting his people to Islam for 950 years. They didn't believe in him. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said to him, I want you to make the ship or the boats. And now when he made the ship, what's going to happen? Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, Allah is going to tell him, I'm going to destroy everyone right now. Khalas. The only people I'm going to let them live are the people that have believed you. The people who believed in you, those are the only one I'm going to save. Everyone else is just going to go. Now, وقال اركبوا فيها بسم الله مجريها ومرساها إن ربي غفور رحيم وهي تجري بهم في موج كالجبال ونادى نوح ابنه وكان في معزل يا بني اركب معنا ولا تكن مع الكافرين قال سآوي إلى جبل يعصمني من الماء قال لا عاصم اليوم من أمر الله إلا من رحم وحال بينهما الموج فكان من المغرقين وقيل يا أرض ابلعي ماءك ويا سماء أقلعي وغيض الماء وقضي الأمر واستوت على الجود وقيل بعدا للقوم الظالمين ونادى نوح ربه فقال رب إن ابني من أهلي وإن وعدك الحق وأنت تحكم الحق قال يا نوح إنه ليس من أهلك إنه عمل غير صالح فلا تسألني ما ليس لك به علم إني أعظك أن تكون من الجاهلين. Subhanallah. Very powerful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us what lessons we need to learn from this. As a parent, you could do your best and still not convince your child to be a good Muslim. It's possible. That's why Allah told us in Surah Hud what happened to the son of Nuh alayhi salam. Prophet Nuh alayhi salam has said to his son, come on board the ship. He said, I'm not coming. He said, I'm going to go to the mountain. He thought he was cleverer than his father. He thought he knew better than his father. Our kids right now, when the parents tell them and give them advice, they say, oh, I know better than my parents, you know. They're not as cool as me, you know. My father is just like a farh, you know. So you think you know, you're kind of smarter, cooler, because you know social media, internet, this and that. No. When your father and your mother tell you the reality and the truth, they advise you, you need to listen to them. No, his son didn't listen to his father. He thought he was cleverer than his father. He said to him, don't worry, daddy, I'm just going to go on top of the mountain. Everything's going to be calm. Everything's going to be cool. Water will never reach me, because if I go to a higher place, even if there's a flood, it will be just on the lower ground. It's not going to come to the top. But he didn't know that this was khalas. Nuh knew better than that. Nuh knew that this was the end. Khalas. They had to go. And he said to himself, please come, be with us on the boat. He said, don't worry, daddy, I'm going to go on top of the mountain. As a sister, when your mother tells you, don't do these things, trust your parents. Say, okay, I'm not going to do it. I have to listen to my parents. Very, very important. But Nuh's son, he didn't listen until he was drowned. And then Nuh alayhi salam, he made dua to Allah and he said, Ya Nuhu, Ya Rabbi, min ahli, my son was from my family, oh Allah, so please forgive him and so. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Innahu laysa min ahlik, he's not from your family. If he was a disbeliever, he's not from your family. Innahu laysa min ahlik, innahu amalun ghayru salih. He did something else. He didn't do any righteous deeds, he did like bad deeds. So as parents, you should think and say, I can try my best, but if my kids are not listening, there's nothing I can do. Take it easy on yourselves. Another story Allah told us in the Quran, and we should learn from this as parents. What's that story? The story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, لَقَدْ كَانَ فِي يُوسُفَ وَإِخْوَتِهِ آيَاتٌ لِلسَّائِلِينَ Yusuf and his kids, Yusuf and his brothers, they were signs to mankind, subhanAllah. What happened between Yusuf and his brothers should be a lesson for us. Prophet Yaqub, who was the father of the kids of Yusuf? Who was the father of Yusuf and his brothers? Prophet Yaqub, am I right? He was a prophet. He was better father than all of us. But his children became jealous of their own brother and they made the plan to kill him. Until one of them has said, don't kill him, like taqtulu Yusuf. Don't kill him, but just put him inside the well. Maybe someone's going to come and take him away. And then after that, you will be righteous people in the eyes of your father. You're going to be righteous people in the eyes of our father. And look how bad and evil they were as brothers. They made their father so upset. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, as a parent, your children are fitna, they're a test for you. And they could do things that will make you mad. But still you have to be patient. Prophet Yaqub, did he kick out the kids out of the house? He knew they were lying, but he never said to his kids, oh yeah, Allah will kill you. Mothers and fathers are always arguing, shall we kick them out or shall we not? Prophet Yusuf, listen to this very carefully. Prophet Yusuf, his father Yaqub, he knew what his kids did. He knew that they did something evil to Yusuf, but still he didn't say to them, leave me alone, get out of my house. I don't want to see your faces again. No. Patience and resilience, because he knew إنما أموالكم وأولادكم فتنة. أنا قال لك التفضل بيرجع له وعارف بقول لك صار كم وصلكم يرتاحي عارف بحواليان هو يروح الوالد يسكت آريا غير مريان والله لما حريص بلاهين وهاني كسكت تسكت شو هاي لما ضو عاود مرة بين تقول لي تكترك هذا شيخ وكيل تقول لي هيا لو الله يعقوب الله حسوس. The kids, yeah, don't talk like that, okay? You have to use your brain. You have to be good to your parents. So Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam, this is what happened between him and the kids. He didn't kick them out. He kept them, he looked after them. He was still kind to his kids. The rest of the kids, apart from Yusuf. And you know what they did to him. And he knew what they did to him. Okay? But at the end, as we know, because of his patience, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought back Yusuf. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought back Binyamin. And we know the beautiful story. I don't want to talk about the story of Prophet Yusuf, because if I start talking about it, it will take the whole night. It's so beautiful, subhanAllah. And inshallah ta'ala, brothers and sisters in Islam, I want to complete with this. As parents, there are certain types of parenting, or styles of parenting. 4 of them are mentioned. One of them is authoritarian style of parenting. Authoritarian style of parenting. When you set the rules and you say, these are the rules, you have to follow them. Patient. Okay? Don't break the rules. It's authoritarian style of parenting. There's another way, which is a bit more stricter, is authoritative. You're very, very strict. Hands on everything. Very strict and rigid. And then there's another style. Permissive style. Where the parent is just like, doesn't tell the kids too much. It's not very strict with them. And if the rules are broken, it's not too harsh on the kids. And then the final one is the one that you don't need to be. And look at this one, is the uninvolved parenting. What's that? When the parent doesn't really care. He doesn't care what his child does. Never asks them about school, what they do at school, what goes on in the house, what goes on outside the house. Doesn't care. He just gives them food and that's it. Clothing and home, that's it. Stay there, khalas, I don't care. Okay? That's uninvolved parenting. And that's not right. Our way is the balance in the middle way. Okay? As a parent, you need to have your rules. Set the rules. Tell everyone what they need to do. If they do certain things, what's going to happen to them. But also remember to be kind. Always remember to be compassionate. Always show compassion towards your kids. And inshallah ta'ala, kindness because that's what they're going to remember. Very, very important. Anas radiallahu anhu, at the age of 90 years old, 100 years old, he remembered the Prophet ﷺ for what? One of the things that he remembered a lot was the Prophet ﷺ when he was younger, never said to him why you did something that he didn't do, or why didn't you do something he did. He knew how kind the Prophet ﷺ was. Kindness is very important. Gentleness is very important as a parent. The question now is, what about if something happens between me and my child? Between me and my child, if something happens. I'm going to conclude it with this story, inshallah ta'ala. And there's hikmah in it. Do you know the companions? They were all clever people. They were very clever people, the companions. And when we want to give an example of a clever companion, one of the companions that will come to your mind is a companion called Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan. Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, very clever, very intelligent. Very, very intelligent. Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, imagine, he was the Amir al-Mu'mineen. He was in charge of the whole Muslim land. He was the most powerful man probably alive that day, anywhere in the world, Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan. But he had a problem with his son, Yazid. He was having a problem with his kid, Yazid. What do you think Muawiyah did? Did he use the army and say to the army, you know, my son has been a bit kind of like, I'm the most powerful man, you know, my son has not been listening to me very well. I need to deal with him, man. I want the special forces to take him somewhere and beat him up. Okay, beat him up. He didn't say that. Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, when he had a problem with his son, he sought advice. Don't say, I'm a father, look, I'm a grown-up man. I've got error in my beard. So I don't need the advice of anybody. You need other people's advice. Very, very important. Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, look what he did. When he was not able to deal with his own son, but he was able to rule the whole Muslim world, and he was able to deal with all the different issues. But when it comes to his son, he had a problem with him. So he sought the advice of someone called Al-Ahnaf ibn Qais. Ahnaf ibn Qais, he was not from the companion, but he was a tabi'i. He was what? A tabi'i. So Ahnaf ibn Qais, rahimahullah ta'ala, Muawiyah invited him to his house or to the palace, and he said to him, I have a problem with my son. I want you to help me with my son. What do you think Ahnaf is going to say to Muawiyah? This is a very important advice. And I want you to listen to it, inshaAllah ta'ala. Look what he said to Muawiyah. He said, Hum thimaru qulubina. He said, our kids, they're the fruits of our heart. He wants to remind Muawiyah, our children, they're from us. He wants to remind him to be kind to his child. He said, Hum thimaru qulubina wa imadu dhuhurina. And they're the pillars of our backs. Your children, you need them. Very important. Very, very important. You don't want to lose any child. And then he also reminded him, we need to become for them a soft earth for them, or ground for them. وَالسَّمَاءٌ ظَلِيلًا. And also we need to become for them like a sama, a roof, okay, which covers them from any harm. That's how we need to be to our kids, he said. فَإِن طَلَبُوا فَأَعْطِهِمْ. If they seek something from you, if they ask you for something, give it to them. If your child says to you, Abo, can you please buy me something? Don't say, no, I haven't got any money, you know. Nothing is in the bank. If you say he comes back next year and says to you, Daddy, can I have something? You say, no. Wallahi, I haven't got anything. I'm sorry, Abo. Not many of us even say sorry. We just say, okay? But look what he said. Look what Ahnaf is saying to Muawiyah. He's saying to Muawiyah, the leader of the believers, who's having a problem with his own son. He said to him, فَإِن طَلَبُوا فَأَعْطِهِمْ. If they ask you for something, give it to them. I'm gonna tell you something. And one of the sheikhs, Somali sheikhs, he was telling us, I think it was him probably. He lives in one of the EU countries, yeah? I don't want to mention which country exactly. So he said he has some daughters and some of his kids, like, his daughters asked him a few times, like, Abo, please buy us something, we need this. And every time he tells them, like, I really don't have money, Abo. How am I? One of his daughters finally said to him, okay, if you don't have anything for us, why did you have us in the first place? If you haven't got anything for us, why did you bring us into this world in the first place? That's what, because always, if you say to your kids, I haven't got anything, I cannot buy you this and I cannot buy you that, they will say to you at the end, why did you have us in the first place? Okay, if you haven't got anything for us, finance is very important. And giving and being generous towards your kids. Also, look what he said. وَإِنْ غَضِبُوا فَأَرْضِهِمْ. If your children become upset and angry, try to please them. Subhanallah. Ahnaf ibn Qais, look at his wisdom. He's given advice to the leader of the Muslims, Amir al-Mu'mineen. And Muawiyah, most intelligent man, who was alive that time. But he's giving him the advice he needed that time. He said to him, if your kids become angry with you, try to make them happy with you. And then he said to him after that, if you do that, فَإِنَّهُمْ يَمْنَحُونَكَ وُدَّهُمْ. If you do that for your kids, they will give you their love and affection. Do we want our kids to love us? We need to show them kindness. We need to, if they become upset, we need to try and help, to try and make them happy with us. And then that time what's going to happen, they will start to love us. Also, when you should, وَلَا تَكُنْ عَلَيْهِمْ ثَقِيلًا. Look at the other advice he gave you. He said to him, do not be burdened on them. As parents today, we become burdened on our kids. We expect this and that from them. You have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do that. We become burdened on them. He said, don't be like that to them. And then what he said, فَيَمِلُّ حَيَاتِكَ. If we become burdened on our kids, they're just going to become tired with us. And they just don't want us to live anymore. They will just become tired of your life. And then, وَيَتَمَنَّوا وَفَاتَكَ. And they get a wish for your death. They say, I hope my father goes away forever, ever. I don't want to see him again. Okay? How many times that thought come to your mind, guys? It was a time that you thought like that. You said, oh, if only dad has gone away forever, don't come back. Okay, no? That's what's going to happen. As a parent, we have to make sure that our children don't have those feelings because of us. Do you know when Muawiyah was told that advice, when he was given that advice, what do you think he did? Muawiyah, he took the advice. He said that was a very, very good advice. And guess what happened? Muawiyah, he gave his son 200,000 dirhams. He said, I want to give my son right now 200,000 dirhams. And when he gave him, because Yazid, the last thing he knew that his father was upset with him. They'd fallen out. He wasn't expecting anything good from his father. So Ahnaf went to him, carrying 200,000 dirhams, and he said to him, this is a gift from your father. He said, what is it? My father just sent me a gift. He said, your father gave me a gift. And how much, what is it? It's money. How much is it? 200,000. What do you think Yazid did? Yazid wasn't expecting that from his father, because he knew, last time when he knew was that his father was very upset with him. So Yazid, when he took the 200,000, do you think he was very greedy? Half of it he gave it to Ahnaf. Half of the money, he said, half of it, 50% is yours. Just give me 50%. MashaAllah. Say MashaAllah. Ya MashaAllah. You see? Guys, if your father gives you something tonight, or your mother, how much are you going to give me? Because I was the one who told them, make sure you save something for me. Next time when I come, I need to get some money, guys, okay? And he said, okay, our mom and dad gave us something after that lecture, so we want to save 50%. I know these guys won't say that. They'll say, no, this is mine. Okay? But look, Muawiyah's son, he was given 200,000, he gave 100,000 away. Because the man who advised his father, he recognized his work. Said, I want you to have half of my money. So mashallah, Jazakumullah khairan, my brothers and sisters in Islam. I think I've been talking for too much. I hope that it was beneficial for all of us, inshallah ta'ala. As parents, we need to always remember to be kind to our children and bi'idhnillah ta'ala to know them very well and to be, inshallah ta'ala, nice and kind and gentle with our kids. So Jazakumullah khairan. If you've got any questions,
No. Can I just request from everybody to remain quiet, please? We have not finished.
we're not finished
The
yet.
teacher is still sitting. I said remain quiet, please. Okay, firstly, we thank our dear Sheikh Muhammad ibn Sheikh Ali Mawlid, Hafidhahumullah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He bless him and increase him in knowledge and bless him and increase him in light. Allahumma ameen. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to reward him with Jannah. Wallahi, this was a very, very beautiful reminder.